revealed that so many people die in road carnages, road accidents. And they also established the causes of this. And they called on Ugandans to be vigilant, at least when they're using these roads. Today, this morning, I've been, privileged to host the man who speaks for Uganda at traffic. That's Mr. Kananuura. And he's going to be taking us into the details of this and some other questions, some other issues rather, pertaining the traffic in the country. Good to have you, officer, and how are you doing, sir?
Thank you, sir. A good morning to our viewers out there. Like you have heard, I'm Superintendent of Police, Michea Kananuura. I speak for the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety, but I also go ahead to bridge the gap between the communities or road users and the officers in the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety. I'm glad and happy to be here this morning and to speak to our viewers out there. And my brother, thank you for hosting me.
It's a pleasure.
And calling on me this morning to come and we share together issues pertaining road safety. Thank you.
When I told some of the people that we were going to have you this morning, one of them was a border rider. And he was like, please, when you have Mr. Afande Kananuura, ask him why we always see, we always see officers, traffic officers, they are confiscating our motorcycles, even when we meet all the requirements that they asked us to have. What is it that we should do so that we can save our motorcycles, so that we can, save ourselves from this trouble? And I'm asking that question on his behalf and on behalf of so many other border riders. I wanted us to begin from there before I forget.
Maybe I will first of all give a background for my friend who asked you that question to ask me that he gets the background of it all, then he appreciates why. Okay. When you look at the crashes that we normally report, for example, when we look at the year of 2023, we lost 4,086 people. 4,086 people. That puts it to a number of 13 people per day on average. And out of that number, 85% were the vulnerable groups. When we talk about the vulnerable groups on the road,
pedestrians?
This it explains that we talk of the pedestrians, good pedestrians. Then we talk of the pedocyclists and the motorcyclists. But motorcyclists now being in the lead, they die mostly. They die so much.
Okay.
And why do they die? Of course, you see, borders, your body is what protects you.
Sure.
Ideally, on the road in case of any crash. Nothing else. So your body is exposed to so many dangers in case of a road crash. If a vehicle knocks you, nothing else other than your body being in touch, direct contact with the body of the vehicle. And you know what?
That's why they're most vulnerable. Yes.
Then this one is now a human body. Now, we also looked at that if these people can have crash helmets, if these people can have reflective jackets, then we shall have real lives of these people being saved, and also many of them trying to comply with the traffic laws, rules and regulations. So we have of course gone ahead to do the sensitizations. Borders can bear me witness. We have visited most of them. We have spoken to them.
So
and then we realize that some people will only listen to one language.
Besides, you mentioned the reflector jacket. Like,
yes,
they have them. They also have, is it permits? Do they also look for permits?
Yes. They must have riding licenses, because we need to confirm that yes, for you to exist on the road or to ride on the roads, you must be experienced. So we are looking at licenses, we are looking at reflective jackets, we are looking at crash helmets, but then we also don't forget about these other behaviors. Those are protective gears, but then we also look at the behaviors on the roads. Situations where a border is carrying 3, 4 people. Yesterday, someone bumped into me because he was carrying a sack of matoke.
Yes.
Someone was sitting behind the sack of matoke. It was in the middle. The person was seated on the tank. So you could not control the vehicle anymore. We were in the jam waiting. I was waiting to join the road. The man from nowhere lost control. He could not control the motorcycle, came and knocked me in the back of my vehicle. So if we also continue now doing such behaviors as borders, for sure, we have no lives on the road because of what we are doing on the roads.
Indeed.
So looking at these behaviors, carrying in excess people, or what we call period riding, that is we carry more than one passenger on the motorcycles. We have seen on these traffic lights, most of the violators of traffic lights on the roads are borders.
Motorcyclists, indeed.
You see 100 of them, like a swarm of bees. There is red, they are not supposed to be moving, they are aware, but then they go ahead and move.
Okay.
So we come in that on top of sensitizing, but then we also going to enforce.
These motorcycles we see you confiscate every day. What procedure do the owners go through to regain their motorcycles? And also we've seen a number of them, you know, being, you know, the police stations where they stay for so many years. Others even, they even going to lose shape.
Now, first of all, there are various reasons why there are a number of motorcycles at police stations. And one of the reasons, yes, it is because of traffic, but other reasons could be from other departments of police, that is CID, crime intelligence. Some motorcycles are recovered, and then people don't claim. But I want to focus on traffic alone, because when we get to the operations, let's say we are now saying we want all those without requirements. We are looking at reflective jackets and crash helmets, or we are looking at permits. It is true, we are going to impound all those motorcycles whose riders do not have the requirements that we have looked at in our operation order. Because you know, every time we're going for these operations, we have operation orders. Put them in place. Sometimes they even come out and announce earlier. Say, if you know you don't have a reflective jacket.
Are these operations regular, or they just fall out of the sky?
Sometimes we make them regular. Sometimes you find that you realize that they run like for some time. Then after we pause a bit, as we also do other things, because we don't only have riders.
That has
on
given
roads.
us Ugandans, especially these people, the victims, some other interpretation. They say, for example, when you see traffic enforcing the wearing of reflector jackets, their conception is that there is now someone who trades in that. Now they brought them to the counter, and so they want to say them. Have you heard of such a statement?
and that one explains why we continue to have increasing numbers in road safety. And I wish how really we started from that, because I expect you to ask me that where is the challenge? One of the most challenge that we are facing in road safety is that really people have not fully conceptualized road safety. When we speak of road safety, people start thinking of other things. People will think, every time we announce another crash, people come out to think of the role of traffic officers. And then people forget that they also have roles to play on these roads. Now, we are looking at what protects these riders on the roads.
I've seen
but
one
when we come
on
to
retire
enforce,
a seat belt
people start
when
saying,
he sees a police officer.
yeah, exactly. Now people come out to say, no, they are enforcing it because there's an officer who has imported this kind of. They forget that we are after their lives.
Now, why they say that, Afande? That's why I asked you. Are these operations regular, or you just say that now, let's start this enforcement?
No,
it runs for a month, and then it stops?
No, I told you, I say that we cannot conduct these operations every day. We have other operations to do other than focusing on borders. Because as we are looking at borders, there are those motorists also who knock them. Can we look at speed? And of course, if you look at the number of traffic officers on the roads, vis-a-vis the vehicles that we have on motorcycles, we are not many. So it means that we shall be switching from one type or kind of operation to another, depending on the need, depending on the research that we have. You know, we have a very good collaboration now with even the academia, who have gone ahead to do for us the research, conduct for us researches, and they come out and say, many people are dying because of not putting on crash helmets. So we say, okay, let's focus on crash helmets. Many people are dying over the weekend because of speeding. Many people are dying because of drink driving. So you realize that our operations are intelligence-led and research-led. We base on that research and conduct those operations. So we cannot conduct an operation of borders from 1st of the month to the end of the month. We cannot. We have other things to focus on. So, but when we come out, that's something I wanted to highlight and talk about because it is really an issue. So when we are conducting operations on borders, and then we get these borders that do not have these requirements, it also depends on what we have agreed upon, on what to do with these people. Sometimes we can agree and say, because really we have alarmed to these people enough, now when we get to them, I think the language they can listen to is court. And indeed we shall take these people to where? To court. Or let us issue tickets. Or let us not issue tickets, nor take to court, but let us require each of them to come with a crash element. As long as they present it, they take the motorcycle. Now, every motorcycle that we get from the field and we take to the police station, requirement number one when you come to claim for it, as long as you have fulfilled all the other requirements by the traffic police, number one, you must present documents of that motorcycle. Okay. And I want to tell you and tell Ugandans that out of such operations, we have also recovered stolen motorcycles. Because they are motorcycles which cannot be claimed. Sure. And all of a sudden, you realize that this motorcycle got lost some time back. It was even announced, but it was never found.
That's why this person does not
the
come back
operations
claiming.
of traffic, yes. Now the operations of traffic have helped out and recovered this motorcycle. So the owner will come and we actually even praise traffic police for recovering the motorcycles.
Now, when it comes to operations of funding, there's also a question of integrity. Some Ugandans think that some of your men and women, they take advantage of these operations, engage, in corruption activities, whereby, for example, they find an errant trafficker, road user, and instead of, for example, impounding their vehicle or their motorcycle, these people here, they give them something little, and then they let them off the hook. You, as the commanders in this, have you heard of such things, and what are some of the measures you're putting in place to see that you deal with these errant officers?
Now, yes, I have heard of those things. However, in some situations, those things are exaggerated, and which is dangerous. I don't know really how people take this social media to be, but some people will come out and put a lot of, like recently, there's something we've been battling out. Someone comes out, frames up something, puts it in the social media. We even go ahead to investigate those things, and we find they are false. We even go ahead by the way to get some of those people. Some of them actually have even been charged for computer misuse. Or, you know really what it means. Exactly. Some of these traffic officers at times we allege on and even publish on social media, they have families. This is where they also come from. I mean that they have a name also to keep on protecting. So it is injuring their reputation. Yeah, exactly. However, let me not speak like that, and you think that our traffic officers are holy or they are angels. No, there are also some who are not that good. Because if you had time, actually, I would share with you some videos. I know that here we cannot have videos which are just cooked. They are real. What do we require of you? I want to tell you, Ugandans, that we have a fully-fledged unit within the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety of Alert Squad. What is its role? To get these indisciplined traffic officers, these corrupt officers, they are charged. We have court that sits every day at headquarters of traffic. These officers are brought in, they are charged. Someone comes in and says, yes, I gave you money on this day. Yes, you asked for this and this, and they are punished. Another Ugandan can report them. You talk about another Ugandan can go and report this. It can even be a person like me, but having got to understand that but this you need to have has been engaged. Exactly. You must have proof. It is clear. He who alleges must prove. Indeed. You not that's just come and say, I have found Kananuura doing A, B, C, D. Where is the proof? People out of nowhere, people are malicious, very malicious, people from nowhere. I want to tell you that the activities that we also conduct of issuing these tickets are not easy. A person who issue a ticket of 100,000 is already annoyed with you, and he feels he can do anything to you. He even goes ahead threatening you and says, okay, officer, you're going to see me. You will lose your job. You know who I am. So what do you expect? Do you know who I am? So what do you expect that person to go and do? They go and write in social media. They first come and report to us. When we find their false allegations, they say, okay, if I can't be helped out, let me go to the social media. And this social media now, it pulls the sympathy of many people. You see people crying and doing what? You don't know. It is very important. One thing I've learned in life, I will first get first-hand information to believe something. other than reading something and then say, oh, this is unfortunate. Oh, this old man is crying his land, what. Kumbe, it is something that is planned just to attract the sympathy of other people, which is very really dangerous. I am saying we are very committed as Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety to deal with any corrupt officer on the road. All we need is your information and proof. Recently, I've always been communicating on social media, telling people. I told people, I said, it is your right, sir, to know the first number and the name of the officer who is serving you on the road. Okay. It's your right. If an officer has put a jacket, please be bold enough to ask them, may I know who you are? Because that's why you have these names. I could not come here
so
without
an officer
this
ought
name.
to introduce themselves to us.
Exactly. Even if I get on the road and I mistreat anyone and say, oh, okay, Kananuura. And now, if you find I don't have this name there or it is hidden, then I also have other intentions.
Okay.
There's something I'm up to.
You're hiding something.
So I'm hiding something. So you also need to know why. Because all officers in the field, they must display their names. An officer whose name is not displayed, there's a problem.
Indeed. So
we have smartphones. What's wrong with, for example, getting my phone and put in, record something, I put here. Then I start freaking the officer. I get everything. When I'm calling one of their supervisors at headquarters, I have evidence. And you'll see if you will not act.
Nobody would be happy with you when you take their pictures like that officer, or when you record them. You know, you'd land in trouble. But like where are you taking?
No, you can record. You record because he will not know what you are going to do with your phone.
But legitimately,
and some people, by the way, have gone ahead to have some of that evidence, and they have brought it, and we have acted against these officers. But I want to tell you that most.
How have you acted on them? These people who are errant when they bring, even when someone has evidence.
I told you that we have a unit of alert squad. You bring this evidence. These people are charged of irregular conduct.
You prosecuted them?
Absolutely. Why not? I really want you people, instead of always talking from the studios.
Because I've never had one, I've never seen one.
Come and visit us. You even have the chance to record the session of court ongoing.
You'd allow us
by city officers. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, officer, when you learn you have, violated any of the traffic rules, yes, let's say minor, traffic rules, for example, and you land into a police traffic officer, and he stops you. And you negotiate, you talk to him that, look, my brother, I made a mistake. Pardon me for now, at least. This officer, does he have to be hard and, take the extreme end, like, oh, you don't have this, I have to take you. Oh, you also have that human heart where you're like, okay, I'm pardoning you for now. Do you have those provisions somewhere? That you can talk to a fellow human being?
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Now, those provisions are there, and they are encouraged. I want to tell you this, that we encourage that. Our officers are taught customer care on how to approach clients, how to speak to them. If you are a first-time offender, I've just met you. Also, depending on how you're going to present yourself to me,
sure,
I really see the mistake you have committed is not that grave. I mean, there's no reason why really I should not warn you and caution you and say, please go, but don't repeat this. It is of no harm. Okay. But of course, we are, sometimes we forget about the dynamics or the personalities. We are different. We are different. But for us, we endeavor to teach these officers professionalism. Every time they are training, we have to talk about customer care and on how to handle clients. And actually, we are very bitter with the mistreating these people on the roads. Any form of mistreatment, that is regional conduct, we charge them as well. Yes, because we have seen some officers, the way they approach these people. Some even can even abuse you, by the way. So now you wonder, why should you abuse?
Some are drunk, and by the way, I was about to ask
but you, also,
this operation against the drunk drivers.
But also, I want to first talk about something before you ask me about the drink driving. Much as we are talking about traffic officers, but then the drivers on the roads also now are worse. They can also harass our officers.
They are rude
They are very rude. They are very rude. Like what I was saying you. Now someone starting to harass you and threatening you how you are going to leave your job, how you not sleep. And just because
And
of
no
something
wonder
small.
we've seen some of your officers land in serious trouble when they, they are confronted with other security agencies.
Exactly.
I know one of your colleagues who who had his leg amputated after being shot by a
So you
soldier.
can imagine, really all that is not called for. When we get to the road, let us behave. I believe the road is something that we must not bring in our offices onto these roads. Let's not bring, because, accidents. We will not say this one is so and so, this one is so, someone's son, this one is no, 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 no.
And
Anyone
the
can
biggest
perish in a crash.
traffic abusers are actually some members of other security agencies. You may have realized this from the military.
No, no,
These
no.
are people who, it's a
Those,
one way, but still someone
no, I
comes.
want to tell you that in this plane, it cuts across. Let no one deceive you. You find a soldier who is very disciplined. Very disciplined. He's always following lines. Actually, most of them, by the way. Actually, except a few. But these other people, you are joking with these other drivers. These taxi drivers, some of them, they are the most indisciplined, most of them. So it cuts across, the inspector really cuts across, and I want to tell you that most people from the armed forces, they know what to do on the road. They are very humble.
No, they are not.
They are very humble.
That's not
Except a
true, because
few.
I've seen how your men and women have been harassed, and you know what I'm talking about.
But how often?
There are
how
various
many
incidents,
people
and they're
harass
being harassed.
Not so many. Very few. Very few incidents. Very few.
This operation against
Now
these
characters of someone, you can, some people can be trained or whatever, but then now the other character now remains of thinking when they are on the road, they are the bosses.
Okay. This operation against these people who drive out drunk, I no longer see. Does that mean that people, stopped drinking and driving?
No. Like I told you, that we depending on the period, sometimes most of these operations you see us conduct, they are intelligence-led and research-led. We know that in this period of time, there are many people who are drinking in the night and driving. You see us come for these operations. I don't know whether it's because of the economy people now are not. so you also see us now pull out and now concentrate on other things. For example, now we are onto speeding because we have seen speeding claiming lives of people and careless overtaking. So that is careless driving or reckless driving. So we are now coming out to focus on those things, those that drive on one ways, those that drive and overtake anyhow. Those people are dying. Seriously. So now our efforts,
Yes.
our much efforts are now concentrated onto those areas of speeding and careless overtaking, then sometimes border borders. So when also now time comes, and then we get to that in such months of time, people are drinking, people are driving, then we shall get back. Those weekends, we start conducting our drink drive operations.
Okay.
And
I
then
find
we
also,
just operate.
I also want to ask you about which people, classes of people, are entitled to, how is it called? To right of way. Which kinds of people? Because I've seen people. You're in jam and someone comes, with sirens, the one person like, look at the vehicle, and I was like, okay.
No, but I think that issue, I think really it is now being tackled. We have seen the operations that we have conducted to get all those with illegal sirens, those with modified lights on their vehicles. Those operations have been ongoing, and I believe when I look around really, those vehicles that had illegal sirens, they are no more, including even the funeral vehicles. Most of them had those lights and sirens. Now you wonder, someone is already dead. What emergency do you have? So that one we have come out, we have impounded most of them, and not done any other thing to them but take them to court. And that's what really has created fear among these people. And we no longer now see anyone put. So who has this right?
Who's entitled to the right?
Entitled? The one who is entitled, number one, is the president of the country. He's the one entitled to be given right of way to move on the road. The vice president, then we look at the speaker, we look at the deputy speaker, we look at chief justice, we look at the deputy chief justice, and also the prime minister. Now, when it comes to these other vehicles of military, on emergency, they are supposed to have right of way. On emergency, I want people to get this clear.
And how do you know?
On emergency.
Every military vehicle you are going to on the road, they are going to tell you, hey, this is an emergency, and they cannot disclose the details to you.
Of course, because now why do so? But I don't think that those ones that are not supposed to also have emergency, they will want to have a right of way. So military vehicles on emergency are allowed to have right of way. Police vehicles on emergency, they are supposed to be given right of way. Then ambulances on emergency. Note these ambulances also that do not have the sick people in them, and then they also want right of way.
And that is also hard to tell.
We also look at the vans, these vans that carry money.
Oh, yeah.
Those you can't also cross.
They also have right of way?
They have to move. Those also have to move. Yeah, basically that is it. And the vehicles of fire. Fire. The vehicles of fire also have right to way. The rest, no way. The rest, no way. They're not supposed to. And that's why you have come out.
You didn't mention members of parliament?
No.
They are not entitled to it?
No, not even ministers.
What about if a vehicle had a lead car? I am Idrissa Muongi, and I want to get, somewhere, and I know there's huge traffic. Then I want to go to Ghana Police, and I want to get a lead car. Am I allowed?
If you want to come and get the lead car, depending on the emergency that you have, if it is appreciated by the police, they will give it to you. But if it is not, then they will not give it.
And I'm charged?
No. You're not charged. If that is an emergency, it is an emergency, they will handle.
Okay. What kind of emergency that maybe can help me afford that, that right? Because you're saying that it's a right that cuts across. Every Ugandan can enjoy it. Where you go to Uganda Police and they give you, Uganda Traffic Police, and they give you a lead car or a lead motorcycle, whereby you can beat the traffic. What are some of the steps, that one has to take?
I may not really
their status, their prominence, their stature in the communities?
Yeah, I think their stature in the communities, you are right. The tasks or the duties that they have, and then really see that if this delays, anything can happen. So it is now on the discretion of the commander on ground to appreciate and say, oh, if this is not done in time, something is going to happen. So you determine it there and then, and appreciate as a team, then you give it a go ahead. So depending now on those people that are on ground, and depending also on the emergency that is there, and the person is going to handle that emergency. Some things don't need real emergency as people may think. You see now why we have got most of that are in these cases on the roads, that every person wants to make his personal issue an emergency. That's why we are getting challenges. As someone is driving very fast saying, I have my child in the hospital, needs my attention, wants to be given right of way. Then there is someone now who is rushing to pick maybe the parent who is also has been called your pressure, your parents has been
has a serious health complication.
Please, exactly. And many things. So then someone else also now saying, I am late for work. My boss is calling me. That also creates an emergency. Many things. Some other people, I am setting off from Jinja. I have to get to Kampala this time. Even when they have woken up late and started their journeys late, they also want to have emergencies on the road. So that is basically what has caused all these issues. When I was coming at on that road that joins those lights that joins the Kabus, yes. The roads that join from the other side of Bunamwaya, there is a one-way. I saw vehicles coming to one-way and drive.
It always happens.
And putting on double indicators. So if you stop these people, if traffic officers get these people, they will tell them emergencies. Each will give you an emergency. But remember, myself, I also had an emergency because I was wanted here.
Sure.
I was seeing time was moving. But then you cannot go into one way. I mean, you have to respect other road users. And you have to know that you are not the only one with the emergency. If you have to speak to everyone, they all have emergencies.
Indeed.
So if you feel that you want to beat up with that emergency, please catch up with time and get up early, prepare in time, and move in time so that you really be ahead of time. Yeah.
Officer, we've seen some of your vehicles also abuse traffic rules. When I say vehicles owned by Uganda Police, there's one, I think you saw those videos, although earlier on you said that some are cooked, they are stage managed, but there are actually some real events that have happened where police officers deliberately knock down people dead. This happened some time back. Yes, this happened some time back during campaigns, to general elections. Yes, during that. We saw a video where a police officer comes and then somebody standing on the pavement. They go there and knock them down dead because they're following a certain political, leader, a political candidate. What are some of the steps that you take against such? Okay, if you've not seen that, it's okay, but you must have seen also your vehicles also abuse traffic, guidelines.
No.
What steps do you take to?
One thing I can talk about that is that a person have not seen what you're talking about, that a police officer driving a police vehicle intentionally knocking someone. Sometimes these crashes or accidents sometimes can be some people can think someone has done it intentionally.
I wish you could show that video.
Should not be the case.
I wish you could show it to you.
Anyway, that much I don't know, and I will not talk about that particular one. However, like any other human being, or like any other vehicle on the road, sometimes our vehicles can also be involved in road crashes. And then we also have to appreciate the fact that we respond to many emergency things sometimes. So at times when you find a vehicle, maybe, and I told you and I said that some police vehicles on emergency, they will have to tend to have right away because they are rushing to save a situation somewhere. Imagine someone is calling and saying, I've been attacked, and if people delay, we know what it means.
Yes.
If you delay a minute, lives are lost. So when that traffic officer is on the, when that driver is on the road of the police vehicle, you don't expect him really to behave like, or to follow the other normal procedure of what other drivers are following. He will tend to even be somewhere being one way because he's rushing to save them. But then they put double indicators for that we all get to know. And that's why even those vehicles have sirens. Of the vehicles we were forcing to remove those sirens from court, police was not there. Because we know sometimes they will have these emergencies and they will have to. Then another thing that we also forget when people come to start judging police, they think that we are angels, we are robots, so we should not err. No way. At the end of it all, whoever is behind this steering is a human being like any other person, who can also do a mistake like any other person can do. But you see the problem when a mistake is done by a police officer.
Because you are the law enforcers, and by the fact that you are the law enforcers means that you need to be, the first people to respect the law.
Yeah, and of which we do. But then,
like they say in the law that he who demands for equity must come with clean hands. Now, when you find me on the wrong side of the law, for you to apprehend me, you must be clean yourself. Now, when I see you errant, that's why I question.
Of which my brother Mwonge, we have tried to do. I have told you that when I was coming, I knew that time was almost getting me, and I saw people who are not even police officers branching and getting to one way and driving. But because of my stretcher, I could not do that. I have to patiently wait behind others and move like any other person. However, I am saying that where you find someone who is now like me and then is doing contrary, now that is the character of someone. But we don't keep quiet over such a people. We have gone ahead to charge them. I want to tell the people that we have gone ahead to charge these drivers, especially who violate traffic laws on the road, even when they are not in emergency. And actually, in most cases, when you talk of these law violators,
that was your vehicle, sir.
Yes, that is. That is a police car.
Yes.
And which like what I told you, because it was being driven. It's not a robot that was driving.
Was he really sober? I mean, from what you're saying, look at that. Was he really sober?
So, and I was now telling you that sometimes we forget that these are human beings. And even as police, we have units like PSU, like Alert Squad I told you, and many other that check our characters. We have seen drivers of police being charged under the laws of traffic for careless driving government vehicles.
Okay.
Exactly. Even these other vehicles we are talking about, the government vehicles, the UGC, UGD, what? They are also driven by drivers. Where sometimes these drivers get, after getting jobs, applying like any other person, they pass interviews, they say, okay, UGC is there, start driving your boss. The day they don't have their bosses in their vehicles, they start behaving the way they want because they feel now they start feeling what? So we have gone ahead and charged such a character. Okay. So I don't want you to say, you know, we must live as you have. Are you a family man? I don't know.
Yeah.
You're a family man. Sometimes, you know, when you come to look at your spouse as an angel, you don't expect any mistake from her. That is the beginning of failure in your marriage.
Indeed.
But when you get to points and say, okay, she's also a human being.
Just like
one day, she's doing things that don't add up, but then you tolerate. Come together and do what? Exactly. That is how we live these communities. We have also to appreciate.
I find a Ugandan may be wondering, you established how many people will lose in road carnage. That's a huge number indeed. So what are some of the measures you're taking to save life? Because we cannot continue losing people like that, especially, you know, during the festive season. This has always been the norm. Mr. Kananuura Kananuura is always busy on TV, on radio, telling us that now we lost these ones, now we lost these ones, now we lost these ones. But it's also your duty to save these lives. So what are some of the measures you're putting in place to see that this death can at least go down?
Yeah, thank you. And of course, every time I've gone ahead to speak about those that have died, I've also gone ahead to give what is going to be done. But one, I want to tell Ugandans that our operations or our enforcement, the core mandate of traffic police on the road is enforcement, and which we do daily. Then sometimes we put some more efforts, then sometimes we do it normal, but that one is done daily. Every time you see these traffic officers on the road, what is their role? They are checking on who is trained to be on the road, who does not have what, whose vehicle is not worthy to be on the road, and all of that. So that is enforcement. We do all of that to make sure that people are safe on the road. We go ahead now to conduct some of these operations like on speeding, operations on drink drive, we are talking about it, operations on errant drivers, those that overtake where they're not supposed to overtake from, those that drive on one ways, operations on borders where we have always seen many numbers or many deaths among the motorcyclists. We conduct these operations to make sure that these people put on crash elements, they have effective jackets, they stop carrying more than one passenger on their motorcycles. However, on top of enforcement, which has been done every day, and then again we are also not seeing change. And then we're asking ourselves, where could the problem be? We have gone ahead now to do road safety sensitizations, and which I head in the directorate, and which I believe that I am doing or we are doing together. Every month we have statistics of the number of people we have visited and spoken to, riders, market vendors, lorry drivers, school-going children. Every year we visit more than 80 primary schools. Speak to them about road safety.
Okay.
So we believe that where people have not taken in the language of enforcement, then we bring in what? Teaching.
Okay.
Exactly. Teaching, we believe this is going to help us in shaping behaviors of these road users. Sensitization is good in a way that it will tell everyone their duty to remind Ugandans of their roles on the road.
Okay.
And please, you who is looking at me, I want to tell you that you have a bigger role to play when you're on the road. If you're a passenger in a vehicle and they load you in excess, you must speak up. You must not keep quiet, see things happening. You are in a taxi, a driver is overtaking anyhow, he's driving so fast, he's on phone, as he has 14 souls in the car, and then you all keep quiet. Really, it's your life. You must speak up and say, no, we are tired. You either stop, we get out, or start driving.
What?
So this is going to help us to shape the behaviors of people, and it is starting really to work out.
One last one before I let you go, Fandi, and this is a serious one, by the way. Some members of parliament from northern Uganda, they have made allegations. You see, Karuma Bridge is under construction, reconstruction. And now, that at night, there are some traffic officers there who allow buses and lorries, trucks to cross after paying 300,000 for the trucks and 200,000. We read that yesterday in our news. Have you heard of something like that?
I've heard it.
You want to refute these claims? Or?
We have even gone ahead to conduct investigations. I will tell you. Finish it, I will tell you.
Yes. I think, let me leave it
So I
at
talk
that.
about it.
Please do.
You know, sir, we are very sensitive with our job, and we are very committed to serving Ugandans. Like I say, let no things happen and people keep quiet. Let things not happen, and all they do, they rush to the social media. Because I told you from the beginning that it's where they know, it's where they get sympathy from. They know the Director of Traffic and Road Safety sits at Natete, and we all know him as a no-nonsense man. He does not tolerate these other things of corruption. He doesn't. He does not. I'm not speaking this because he's my boss. People who have worked with him, they know him. Someone has not come to him and said, I've found this situation, please help us. No way. But all they run to social media. Now, when that thing report came out, we saw it. Immediately, everything we see, we have to get to the ground and investigate. Are these allegations true? Is this thing happening? And when the thing of Karuma came out, we went to investigate. It is not new. At Katonga, the same thing came out.
What's happening?
No, it was not happening. The same allegation came out. You know,
They are just mere allegations.
let me tell you. Being made to drive all the other route, not using the Karuma, it pains people because of the fuel they add in. Not so.
But I've had
and then when people see that it is
saying that this is a shorter road, that's what I was saying.
And when people say it is delaying,
because they're not allowed to cross the park at night. That's the reason why they
all
do
sorts of things. So for they think that it's when maybe people wake up and say, let's finish this thing and do what? The same thing happened in Katonga. Those allegations happened, and we went and investigated.
It was not
Nothing.
true.
I'm telling you nothing.
Oh, you're defending your own.
And
Because in this case, I'm looking at the
and-
source. Why do members of parliament? Look at the source. These are members of parliament who are saying this. I think the source also matters. It's not coming from an ordinary person. It's coming from a member of parliament. It's someone.
And then that's what I'm also saying, that a member, do you know the times that our directors, they get to parliament and sit there? You are aware sometimes. So a member of parliament is the person who knows the right way to channel information. Trust me. Like I told you, my brother, I said you are a family man. If you hear anything about your wife, you go to tell the neighbors. You first call your wife and say, you know what, I've had ABCD. How do we handle? So the fact that that information has really not come in the right channel for us to investigate, we have Professional Standards Unit, PSU, headed by Madam Chwika Sara at Pokoto. A very thorough lady. They will take up that information and investigate and get to know. I'm saying, I'm not denying and defending all that the officers are very holy. No way, but I am telling you that we have gone ahead to find out whether this information is true or not. And I want to tell you, so far, we have not had any issue. We have nothing at all. Because we investigate, we get on the ground, we get information. Besides what is being spoken, we go ahead to know which driver has given in money here.
You didn't find any driver?
Nothing. And unless if they are to come up, because we are still investigating, you know, the thing, the allegation is just fresh.
Yes.
So we are still doing one. But as at the moment, nothing. And I want to tell you and assure Ugandans that if such things are also there, then we get to know. Our officers are not left free. They are charged. They are charged, and they also know that they can be charged. So that's why in most cases they resist from those kind of things, because they know what it can cost them.
Okay. Thank you so much, Afande Kananuura, for sparing time to speak to us this morning. Any parting shots you want to make?
Maybe I want to thank you, BTM, for hosting me this morning, and thank our viewers out there who have really spared their time amidst their busy schedules, and they decide to listen from us. I want to call upon every Ugandan, please. Let's join hands. Let us not see things happening. You know, one person wrote and say that the world is not bad because of those who do bad, but because of those who see the bad done and then they keep quiet. So when you see things, please know where to report. We are committed and determined to see how best we can make our Uganda a better place to live.
Thank you so much, sir. There he is, SP Michea Kananuura, the PR officer. Thank you so much, dear viewers. Come the end of this edition of BTM, Daily. I'll be back tomorrow on the dialogue, 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. Do not miss. Have a huge panel. We're going to be discussing matters of national importance. May the good Lord continue protecting you till we meet again. From me and the team, it's a goodbye for now. See you then.